too when he's playing like that, because he's touching the paint, and then he can get his vision and his reads into the game, which he's exceptional at. So he played a really good game. I thought his force in the first half, Kaysen's first half on both ends of the floor, the offensive rebounding collectively in the first half, those types of things keep the game in striking distance when it's not going your way. And so the game never really got away from us, even though it took a long time to get a lead in it.
Just how I play, but I'm not like going out there like thinking about it. Yeah, it's just how I play. Like, you just kind of get back to like pushing off and like like having those little bursts. Like the biggest thing for me is like a mental thing, because last time I strained it, I felt good, and I had pulled it like trying to like reach for a pass. So it's like one of those things where like just over time, the more you get reps of doing it, like you stop thinking about it. So that's kind of where I'm at, where I'm not thinking about it. I can kind of like do a lot more of my normal moves and stop and not have it in the back of my mind. So I've done a good job rehabbing, and I'm integrating more and more minutes as it comes to it, and just getting my feet and stuff is more the biggest thing. But I'm not like in the game like, all right, I have to get to the rim right now. It's just more like, can I consistently make the plays that I usually make without having that mental am I gonna re-enter it? In the team, you realize how talented we are, like top to bottom. When you're in it, you probably don't notice as much until like you're on the court with a certain group, but we are extremely talented, and that was really cool to watch. Obviously, I wouldn't like to watch it from the sidelines anymore, but from a team perspective, watching guys go into different roles and watching them blossom is really cool. And then I think just me personally is just not taking it for granted. Not to say that I was, but like you don't know when you get to play again, and just have that maybe look at basketball a lot differently. But yeah, other than that, it's just, and patience too. Like I said, it's been a blessing in disguise. Like, my hand feels really good, so I've been able to work on that. Now I feel like I'm going to kind of go into these playoffs pretty fresh.
In those situations, I just try to be very patient, maintain a big picture perspective, not make him feel like he has to be everything all at once today. Just be in great shape when you come back, which he's done, and just fall into the team, and help the team perform well, and let things trickle down from there, let the dominoes fall from there. But I'm always trying to take pressure off those guys to feel like they have to like make up for lost time or cram for the test or anything like that. Like, he helped us. He played 23 playoff games last year with a ligament torn in his wrist. He was not 100%, and yet he was a guy you wanted on the court and had incredibly high impact. And so perfection's not the goal with any player, certainly a player that has missed time. We just want him to be out there, be healthy, and be competing inside the team, and he always does that. And so if he's doing that, he's going to help us. You get the most relevant feedback in those games. The Boston game the other night for us on the road against a team that was full strength and that was playing like it, like the way that they approached that game. I think they were throwing their fastball. We would have liked to win the game. We like to win all the games, but in terms of feedback and relevant feedback for where we need to improve and where some of the vulnerabilities might be, the way an opponent, a high-level opponent that you respect, is approaching the game against you, we took a lot from that game, and so the opportunity to play high-level teams that are playing for something, that are going to come in here and be hungry, is good for us. We'll be a better team at the end of the night having played tonight's game, because it's against them. We got great respect for them, so we embrace those challenges.
Thank you, Jalen. Thank you, Jalen. Thanks, Jalen.
competition. That's hard to do when you're not playing games, but he seemed to just hit the ground running. And when you're off for that long, you know, you're going to have some ebbs and flows in your performance, and it's the time of year where the games are hard, and so you're not going to play perfect every night. But just his competitiveness, his motor, his two-end play, you know, is really valuable for us, even on his average nights. But tonight he was excellent.
Dub is such a big part of why we won last year. If we want to defend this year, he's going to be such a big part of it that we have no choice but to trust him. And we have no choice but to put the ball in his hands. We have no choice but to make plays around him, to put him in better positions. Like when the better he is as an individual player, the better we are as a basketball team. And 1 through 15 knows that, so we don't really have a choice. No matter if all of last playoffs he was playing through a torn wrist, and we had no choice but to play through Dub in moments. Like it is what it is. He's a really great player. He's one of the best players on this team, and he's one of the biggest reasons why we won last year. And if we want to win again, we're going to need him to be that guy. And we have full trust that he'll be that.
All black and all white. Yin and yang.
But like opposites. That's not fun.
Cool questions.
What allowed you to get into such a good tempo tonight? Because you had the hard drives, and then you were able to use a little step back on the baseline too to get to all your stuff.
Just getting my feet under me, getting more and more comfortable playing again. To be honest, it's not really like anything they did or didn't do. It's just getting back to being like fully ready to go. And like I said, like my minutes have gotten extended a lot, so I've been able to play pretty close to like my normal stretch of just rhythm.
Human nature stuff as you're working your way back this close to the playoffs.
What do you mean long-term effects? Like when I'm done playing basketball?
I mean, yeah, maybe even just like this postseason. I mean, you had to know that the connection, I guess, or the effects when you played through it last year, right? Like, is that something you're thinking about?
Not really. My hand feels fine, to be honest. Like I said before, like low-key having my first like hamstring injury like helped me like work through it, and it just gave me more time to actually like shoot. That was the hardest part, was like going through the whole summer not being able to shoot, and then coming in with a week of practice and then playing. That was what made it hard to work through my hand thing. But then having that time off where I was hurting my hamstring allowed me to actually get shots up and like do stuff for that. So I don't ever worry about it now. Now it's just more like getting my steps right with my second hamstring injury and just being ready to play for however long. But I don't really think about my hand too much.
Do you feel like these 2 weeks are enough for you to get back? I mean, obviously you're a different player, but do you feel like it's enough to get to the version you want to be?
I don't have a choice, do I? I'm not gonna have more games in the schedule, but I'll be fine. Again, I don't worry about what happens in 2 weeks. I just worry about what's gonna happen tonight, for example, and then see where that takes me. And then when I play the next game, I'll worry about that game and just try and get better throughout that. And then just go out and compete and leave it all on the floor, and wherever that leads me, it leads me.